Good evening, folks. Welcome back to another week of Overlord Prowler's Round Robin. GMA Gaming coming at you with some more League of Legends in summer 2022. 3 games for you tonight. The round robin continues. First up, we've got Gale Force on the blue side taking on White Wolf on the red side. 1-1 so far for Gale Force. White Wolf, unfortunately, the only team sitting at 0-2, so a pretty important week for them, in my opinion. I'm Jeff, joined by Gregorsaurus Rex. How you feeling tonight?
It would probably help if I unmuted myself. It's going good. I am looking forward to the games tonight. Looking forward to seeing new matchups and seeing if that, rare and elusive undefeated season can be kept alive.
Yeah, it would be interesting. It's only 5 weeks, so a little more obtainable, I suppose, than in past splits. But yeah, we absolutely should credit Blitzkrieg so far at being the only team to go 2-0 thus far. And yeah, unfortunately, on the other side, there's got to be a reciprocal, and that is White Wolf at 0-2. They haven't really looked outclassed in any of their games so far this split. I think that they've been right there in both of them. It's just been, a matter of a couple plays, which I guess is the beauty of this game overall. It comes down to a couple plays here and there, a couple little skill shots. And so we'll see if they can right the ship, get themselves going here, playing an appropriate team in Gale Force. They'll have to navigate the storm. Looks like we're getting ready to get going here on game one. I do apologize for the late start. This is Jeff. You can blame me. It was on me. For some reason, my client was acting up. Hopefully, Spectrum behaves for the rest of the evening. And looks like we might be having some issues here in Champs, or excuse me, in the lobby again. I'll still take
It's a small
responsibility
indie
for that.
company. We give them a little bit of leeway. It's a small indie company.
Riot Spaghetti. But yeah, thus far, I feel like we've seen a very competitive split. There's been maybe one or two matches which were pretty one-sided, but other than that, I think that we've had, matches that could go either way throughout.
I think you're absolutely right. Like you said, even for the teams that, the team that's 0-2, it did not feel like blowout games for the most part. In fact, this split in general hasn't been a bunch of blowout games. There have been a few, but it's been, for the most part, highly, highly competitive, highly back and forth, which is great as a viewer to watch.
Absolutely. So White Wolf here, we've got a Poppy band coming out first out of Gale Force, so not sure if that's aimed at WD Fan or Menards in the jungle potentially, or maybe even a Maya-chan in the support role. But Zoe immediately thrown back. We've seen Green play that twice thus far in 2 games. So,
I have never been more shocked in my life to see a Zoe ban. My
yeah,
goodness,
so
he
White
popped
Wolf
off last
saying,
week.
show us something else. And I'm sure Green is happy to oblige, but yeah, as you said, popped off on that Zoe last week, and even in a loss in week 1 had some impressive stuff to show. So Belveth coming back the other way. So I believe this is the first time that we've seen Menards played something else last week.
He
Played
did.
Belveth in the first week, but yeah, had a very impressive showing on Belveth in week 1. That will not be an option this time around. But, thus far we've had 2 bans, and neither have been Kane or Gwen or, some of those other amazing things in Menard's pool. So we'll see. Maybe he gets to get onto something that he wasn't expecting to get to play. Kiana comes back the other way.
This is the third straight week that
And
we have
there's the
seen.
Kane.
Yeah, there's the Kane. This is the third straight week of a Kiana ban against Green. I have heard stories about this. I'd like to see it in action sometime. But thus far, it's looking like we're not going to get our wish.
Yeah, we'll see if we get triple bans at the mid lane here. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. As you noted, yeah, the Kane banned away as well. So Menards will still have a couple of things in his wheelhouse if they want to prioritize it. The Zac banned away totally makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
Sladen's
a Sladen special.
he's very
And
good at it.
Godzilla. Yep, Godzilla we saw play an Olaf in the top lane to great effect last week. And by picking that first, you not only, it was impressive for him last week, but you take it away from Menards, who has been known to play that in the jungle.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is worth noting that, and I'll bring this up anytime it happens, and the Menard is in the game, there's a Gwen up. Gwen is up there. It's
Yep.
available.
Abs. And I would not be surprised at all to see that taken first rotation here. Not sure if you have to take it first rotation, knowing that they already took the Olaf, and not sure if it's in Sladen's champion pool.
I believe Olaf is in Sladen's champion pool, which means technically that would still be a flex. Instead, they're deferring it for now, taking the Caitlyn. Gonna go for a more ranged approach in the bot lane, which
Hmm.
might benefit them. I think it was last week they did have a little bit of difficulty. A lot of aggression being put out onto them from attacking from longer range like a Caitlyn might be a good choice.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just feel like, as an AD carry player, I just feel like AD carry is an interesting position to prioritize when there have been no bans or anything aimed at the bot lane at this point. Jax picked up. That could go top lane or jungle, obviously. Seems like a Menards type of champion.
That's the second week we've said that too. It's a Menard's type of champion, but you're absolutely right. It's the type of champion that give him an inch, he'll take a mile.
Yeah, just could potentially 1v9 if he gets going. The Nocturne comes out, so I think we've got a pretty solid idea of what the top side will be coming out of Gale Force. Vex being hovered for green, that would be very dynamic, very exciting to watch.
I think if he locks this, I can see already what they're going for. The Nocturne art plus the Gwen ult, or not sorry, not the Gwen,
Vex.
the Vex ult. That is a horrifying combination. You cannot dodge what you cannot see.
Oh, yep, and they do lock it in. So we've basically got the top side of Gale Force already solidified. Now that's interesting. I just feel like that's interesting to make it so obvious what you're running within the first phase of Champion Select. But you've played competitively more recently than me. Do you feel like maybe I'm overthinking that?
I think it depends. I think it depends on how much scouting has been done, and if you want to get your priority picks before having a second ban phase. For example, Gale Force here, if they've been practicing this Nocturne Vex, I would suspect that they have practice games, in their match history, and White Wolf will have seen that. So it might make more sense to grab them early, especially if you're confident in whatever the matchup's going to be, just so you can get the team comp you're looking for.
Fair enough. And Orianna was picked up, presumably for Chaosix in the mid lane. We always talk about Orianna being such a balanced, safe pick. So that's what Chaosix will be piloting as he tries to navigate this green Vex pick. Morgana banned out, so naturally White Wolf, they're going to start to look at the bot lane right now with bans, knowing that that's all that is left to be picked by Burn the Heretic and Alpha.
I would like to see White Wolf come out with a stronger form of engage within their team. The Jax with the ball on him, that's a decent engage, but it still relies on running at them pretty quickly.
Yeah, as long as there's vision, on the flanks, that
Right.
Jax is going to have trouble getting in. This isn't ARAM. You can't just snowball or anything like that. So they target Alpha at the end there with the Morgana and the Lux. Xerath's still up, so that's something that I wouldn't be surprised to see Alpha pick up.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's a bit of a meme now, but it's definitely an alpha type of champion.
And it's something we have seen him play. Nautilus banned away, so there goes a little bit of the engage that you were hoping for. As far as engage champions go, I mean, Leona still up. Yeah, there's plenty of engage supports up. I'm not really sure how many are in Amaya Chan's wheelhouse, though.
That is a valid point. Amaya Chan has, I'll call it a unique pool. It's unique in the way that you would never, ever be able to ban him out because you'll never know what he's going to play. My guess is that Amumu would be for him, so there's the engage we're talking about.
There's the engage, all right. Like to see it. You love to see it. And there's still a little bit of a flex on this Jax. So I like what White Wolf is doing here. Don't know exactly who's going where. You can extrapolate an idea, you can deduce a little bit, but there's enough uncertainty there.
Is this Lucian Nami, you think? Lucian Nami feels scary into a Mumu Caitlyn.
I don't think it's going to be Nami. I don't know, I guess yeah. If you think it's going to be Nami, I'll trust you over my own gut. But oh my gosh, I'm glad I got that out before.
Oh, he still has time to change it, but Lucian, yep, there you go. It's a scary lane, but if you can dodge the bandages, the damage is insane.
So
I
this
love.
is I love this comp actually from Gale Force. Just looking top to bottom, I really like this. I'm gonna hope to see Godzilla on the Olaf building a little
Ooh,
tanky. Because otherwise I don't know how much beef that you're really gonna have. I assume Sladen isn't gonna go tank Nocturne here.
I would
But
imagine not.
Wukong. And so you still, I mean, we'll see where the swaps end up, but there are a lot of different ways they could configure this. Oh, support Jax. Yeah, do it. Ah, okay.
So Menards plays a pretty mean Wukong, so I'm pretty sure he's just
Yeah,
gonna
that's a
hang on to that.
yeah, that's good. But I like the way they configured this draft because you had to wonder where the Jax was going throughout the entire thing. And honestly, maybe they could have even pulled a little 180 at the very end and had the Amumu go jungle and the
I was gonna say, yeah,
Jax go
even the
top or
Amumu was
something.
a potential flex
Yeah,
pick. It was the only one that was absolutely certain, if you want to get super technical, was the Caitlyn, because I've seen Oriana support before.
Caitlyn mid. I
I've
remember
seen that before. I haven't seen it work, but
it's incredibly frustrating to play against until someone ganks and then she's dead. But
yeah, it sounds about right.
that's just playing against Caitlyn in general. Oh, I outrange everybody. This is fun. Well, here comes the spectator delay. My weekly diatribe. Everybody stop cheating, stop spying on games so that we don't need to do this. Looking up and down, I was talking about how I like the White Wolf, or excuse me, the Gale Force comp so much. Not that I dislike the White Wolf comp. Which one, whose team would you rather be playing on right now, Eric?
I would 100% rather be on the Gale Force team. The
Yeah.
concept of a Nocturne ult with the Vex ult, with a Nami wave coming in, and then possibly an Olaf coming from the other direction. No, just
No.
the Nocturne ult called Paranoia is appropriately named for this matchup.
I love hearing people's first experiences with Nocturne Ultimate. I still remember mine all the way back like 2011. My friends and I were playing, and just anytime Nocturne Adult, we didn't even know it was happening because we hadn't researched the game, we didn't understand the game at a deep level yet. But every once in a while, just the map would turn off and someone would die, and we'd just be like, what, like, what is going on?" And so it's an aptly named ultimate, that's for sure. And as you have pointed out, the combination with the Vex in the hands of somebody like Green, yeah, that's going to be something that White Wolf are going to have to respect at a very high level. So overall, you're taking Gale Force to take this game.
Overall, I'm thinking I'm going with Gale Force here. Their comp is just so much scarier to me.
Mm, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's not to say that White Wolf doesn't have a scary comp as well. The Amumu ult, he bandages in, he ults. Oriana hits the ball, Wukong hits them up. Like, it's a lot of wombo combos here. Versus sort of like a weird pick wombo combo on the side of Gale Force. It'll be interesting to see who can execute it better, because if it does come to a straight 5v5 team fight, I do think White Wolf may have the advantage with the way that they're built out.
Yeah, the interesting thing about White Wolf is, as you mentioned, various wombo combo opportunities. And we were talking about the Jax with the Oriana ball originally, but now you've added in the Amumu and the Wukong in phase 2 of Champion Select. So there are a lot of different ball delivery systems here. Chaosix can sort of pick, all right, who is going to get into the backline, who's going to find the Lucian, who's going to find the right area for me to shockwave on top of. And so it's one thing that I've always found tricky personally about playing Oriana is knowing in the moment, snap decision, where do I E? Where do I, command protect to? Who do I want that ball to be on at the moment? So we'll see how quick he is with those reactions.
I will say that in organized play like this, it's a little easier to execute because you have a specific person calling they're engaging the fight. Uh, but certainly, to your point, that doesn't mean that there isn't a significant margin of error that you could potentially mess it up and completely pooch the ult, pull the old sombrero, as they say.
Oh my gosh, so many sombreros have I worn in my Oriana career. None of them look good. Um, But yeah, especially with champions like, well, I mean, especially the paranoia of Nocturne. If you think you've gotten engaged and then the lights go out, it gets tough. But you've also got Alpha with, the prototypical disengage of Anami. So Menard says I'm going in, gets tidal waved, you pop that shockwave. Very sad. We'll see what happens. Somebody, please do a level 1 play. Nobody's doing a level 1 play, I can already tell. You guys kill me. Okay. We're 5-pointing. Everybody likes stars.
If you were going to go for...
There's a slight opening.
This is more like a 4.5, 4.25
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna say, White Wolf, you could sneak into that topside jungle just a little bit. You could. Half of that ramp is in darkness. You could sneak in.
As far as level 1 invade comps, I can't say that I'm overly surprised that there isn't level 1 shenanigans. These are not really super good comps for it. I suppose White Wolf could do it with like a Jack stun if he started the Counter Strike. And the Amumu ult. Or not the ult, bandage.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't make sense to invade, but come on, like there should be a button where if both teams agree not to invade, we can just like it's like skip ad on YouTube and we just spawn the minions immediately. But we're all here now. All the minions are here. Everybody's just doing their jungle starts. It's cool. In the bot lane, Burn the Heretic and Alpha. This is actually I think the second week in a row that we have had them not having to leash for their jungler, and they've gotten early bush control. I don't think they used it really to its utmost advantage last time. We'll see what they get this time. They're way behind Amaya-chan right now, and actually it ends up being about an even trade. They might have even gotten the worst of it. But they do have that sustain of Nami, actually, so probably any trade, as long as you can navigate the next couple seconds, is worth it when you have that sustain.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. I just don't see how it works if you don't start bubble, or the slowing, you know, her E. Otherwise, you have no way to actually stop them from doing what they're doing.
Green with an aggressive little start there, got some damage onto Chaosix. Worth noting, Green is running the Ignite, Chaosix the Teleport, so a little more margin for error for Chaosix. If he takes a bad trade early on, he can get back to base, reset.
See, Burn the Heretic is having a little bit of difficulty with the range discrepancy here. Like you said, the Nami, very, very good at sustaining as long as she maintains mana. But the range battle is definitely not going to be in their favor.
Yeah, some solid last hitting from Arcane Soda early on those first couple waves. Has 17 CS, I believe, in the first 3 waves, so only missed 2, if my math checks out. Meanwhile, not to be outdone, Chaosix and Green both CSing very well in the mid lane. A little bit of damage there from Chaosix. Green does land the Fear, gets a lot of damage down, but there is a gank potentially coming from Menards. Green hasn't seen him yet, jumps in, has the red buff applied. Green might have to flash here. No, nice discipline from the mid laner of Gale Force, understanding the limits of Menards, knowing he was fine. Godzilla with an early roam down actually catches the undertow onto Menards, and this could be trouble for the Wukong. He does not have clone available yet. As we direct our camera, go back down to the bot lane, we come back to the mid lane, and clone does come back just in time. Bubble lands onto a Maya Chain in the bot lane. We're just swapping back and forth. Direct camera doesn't know what it wants. Totally understand. Been there, direct camera. Alpha with a little nice trade, and we see Alpha and Burn the Heretic winning these trades now. That sustain. They have overcome the range advantage. Menards has trooped right back down to the bot lane, though. Sladen is nearby, so a counter gank potential could happen. He does see that Scuttle Crab was taken, which means he has to know that Menards is in the area. Godzilla with a huge wave stacked up here in the top lane. WD Fan jumps in, gets a little bit of damage down, takes the turret shot, though, for his trouble.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on just yet. Outside that early attempted ambush on the Wukong, it's been a pretty quiet game thus far. Although I suspect it's not going to stay that way.
It's been one of those situations where there's been stuff going on, but it's never really felt consequential yet.
With teams...
Sorry, go ahead.
I say, with teams as volatile as this, it really only is a matter of time before this one explodes. These teams are so volatile and so looking to fight.
Burn the Heretic and Alpha, both at full health. They look for Arcane Soda. A lot of damage. Has to flash. Burn the Heretic flashes after. Gets the kill down. Arcane Soda burns both summoners. It's not enough. Amaya-chan is going to go down as well. Slayton, nice job. Just waiting in that brush. Finding the gank. And as you said, things pop off quick. Pings on the dragon. Green is back in base, but I don't think Chaosix is going to be able to come down to contest this. Menards is top side. So a really, really good play from the bot side of Gale Force early on.
Yeah, that was really, really well executed. I feel for Arcane Soda and Amaya-chan there because the assumption is that that was a back, right? This, you know, that they disappeared into the bush. What are the odds they try that stunt again? Well, the odds are actually pretty high, as it turns out. And now that'll net him an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, that makes sense that you would expect the back there, but I also appreciate Burn the Heretic and Alpha trying that. Even if it doesn't work, you're probably okay to continue laning, given that you were at full health. But also, I don't think they probably had the money to get a great back for Burn the Heretic yet. So you might as well just see if you can get something. If you can't, it's not a huge loss. If you can, well, now I have a great back.
Quillette in the chat says, commentators curse, you're absolutely right. As soon as we say it's a little quiet, that's when the violence starts. Go figure.
I mean, that's, I guess maybe we should start saying it more often. Just get, whenever we start to get lax,
yeah.
let's just call
Gale
it out.
Force, I'm bored.
Chaosix gets tagged by a little bit of damage there from Green. He's finding some nice trades with that Looming Darkness and the Mistral Bolt.
It's a big wave down bot.
And if you're Burn the Heretic right now, you're technically down CS, but obviously you're up the kill and the assist, so you're very happy with that. But even only being down like 4 CS against Caitlyn, personally I call a win.
No,
Caitlyn
that's
is just
that's
so
very
oppressive
good
to play against, and it's so easy for Caitlyn to CS, and for her to make it difficult for her opponent to CS. That if you're down like less than 1 wave at this point, I feel like you're fine. Nice net there. Actually, Burn the Heretic going a little too aggressive that time. He has no flash. He already used it aggressively. Amaya-chan misses the second bandage toss, though. So Burn the Heretic will be able to waltz away.
That had to be a
Amaya-chan had
misclick.
flash there. I'm wondering if Amaya-chan could have flashed and just continued to auto and continue to take away with that W.
Possibly. I think he may have been more focused on the fact that either his mouse went off the mouse pad or something, because that band-aid was not where I'm sure he intended it to be. So he was probably focusing on that at the point instead of, potentially trying to finish that kill out.
Maybe it was a cat. We've all had the cat walk across the keyboard.
True.
At the inopportune time. Menards was shading around the bot side for a moment there, but saw no opportunity going back up. Slayton, meanwhile, is level 6. And this is the dream scenario for a Nocturne with your first ultimate. You've got an AD carry with no summoners. I believe Slayton, yeah, he was just spotted by a ward, though. That's not a pink ward down there, so it won't deactivate things. Deputy Fan getting bullied a little bit by Godzilla now at this point. And now Slayton looking towards the mid lane. Chaosix still has Flash and has Shockwave, so can be relatively safe. In they go. Slayton gets the fear down, and Chaosix hasn't popped anything yet. Nice discipline there, not panicking at all.
Vex must have ulted at some point before.
Call out, I didn't see that.
I did not notice that either, but I was wondering, like, whoa, he must really be holding off on that ult to see where that fear goes, and then it just never happened.
You remember when fear was just RNG? Where it was just completely random what direction it sent your champion?
Yeah. I'm kind of glad they changed that, to be honest.
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, it's just funny to think back to the things that they've removed from this game over the years. Jax, the Dodge King up here, like, basically the only champion. As Green actually gets caught, has to flash. Shockwave is still available. No, it's not. I didn't see when that got popped either. But Green able to avoid the gank.
I'm a little puzzled by the directed camera not giving us information as to when these ults are going up.
Did you see that Shockwave? It looked like it got popped during that gank. Maybe it just, the animation got
maybe
lost in the cyclone from Wukong.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't know.
Twitch chat can help us. Nice bubble from
Ooh,
Alpha.
that's a good bubble.
Won't be consequential, but about sending a message. Arcane Soda is pretty low on mana here, so if we get a potential engage, he won't have all of his tools available to kite back and hold on. WD Fan has to pop the Counter-Strike up top. Godzilla's getting the better of these trades right now.
Another interesting point in this bot lane, the itemization difference between these two champions. There's a pickaxe on the side of Lucian, and there is nowhere near that much AD on the side of Caitlyn.
Yeah, pickaxe and a noon quiver.
Right.
Whereas you've got a cull and a dagger on the other side. Tidal Wave comes out, good juke from Arcane Soda, but can he get away? Actually flashing from a Maya Chain, looking for the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Burn the Heretic has his flash back. Nice job by a Maya Chain to find the bandage shots, and Menards cleans it up. A little too aggressive there from the Gale Force bot lane without vision in that river brush, and a Maya Chan and Menards make him pay.
Yeah, that was a really, really good bubble too at the end. It was just unfortunately catching the clone and not the actual Wukong.
Arcane Soda unfortunately didn't land the net there, so he actually did not get an assist off that kill.
Well, that's awkward.
But able to stay alive at least, which is, you know, I guess what matters most in the end. WD Fan is unfortunately being zoned off these minions, jumps in with the Counter-Strike. Godzilla will take a turret shot. Godzilla has Ghost, so at one point he could potentially just look to dive. If that Counter-Strike is ever off cooldown, wouldn't be surprised to see this Olaf go for something under the turret. Recall actually there from WD Fan. Does not have teleport though, so he'll lose out on some minions. 2 plates already gone on that top lane turret as well.
He's just beating away at it. I mean, he was left unattended. He can't be held accountable.
Sladen has Paranoia available again. Was lingering around the mid lane, not pulling the trigger. Chaosix has actually built up about a 12 CS lead here, so nice job from him. Green pulls it back a little bit. It'll be 8 after this melee minion finally dies.
I am a bit surprised at how quiet this has gone. Only having, 2-1, 12 and a half minutes in, with team comps like this. Oh, am I caster cursing again? It looks like I might be.
Yeah, Sladen taking out some vision there in the bot lane. CS relatively even across all lanes. You got about 8, 9 CS advantages in all 3 lanes, but for varying teams. In the jungle, Menards actually has the largest CS advantage, position to position. And both junglers will kill. Here comes Paranoia. They're jumping on Arcane Soda. He does have both summoners available. Needs to heal Amaya-chan quick here. And Amaya-chan will drop. Arcane Soda under the tower. He's still too close. He does drop.
Wow.
Sladen with another successful gank in the bot lane. They get a lot of summoners out. Arcane Soda still had flash available. I think he just thought it wasn't worth burning at the end. Thought he was dead no matter what. And a nice return gank by that Nocturne. 2 Paranoias, 2 successful ganks. That's what you want when you're playing Nocturne in the jungle. Just make every ult count. He has so far.
Yeah, it's a Fed Nocturne, which at this point he's getting to that point. It's just such a pain to deal with, especially since, even if he's not actually impacting the game, just by being in the game, he's impacting the game. You have to play more cautiously, you have to play further back, and it's really oppressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And for little things, these players are good enough that they shouldn't be bothered like this, I am when I play or something like that. But when you have a champion like Caitlyn, your first instinct is to EQ when someone jumps on you. But against a Nocturne, you can't really do that. You have to change your play pattern just a little bit because of that spell shield, and you have to do something else before the E. And just that little bit of discomfort, just a little bit of having to change what is instinctive, can affect your play in different ways.
That is absolutely true, especially since a lot of playing these champions that, they put hours and hours and hours into, it's muscle memory at a certain point. And
exactly.
If you rely on that for situations like a Nocturne jumping on your face, that's not going to work out for you.
So Sladen has really, really had a nice impact on this game so far. 2-0-1 on this Nocturne. Bubble comes out, does land onto Arcane Soda, but he's able to just net away. Yeah, the scoreboard's been a little buggy for me for the last couple of weeks. Just doesn't update sometimes. So, folks, if you're watching on Twitch, don't trust the scoreboard. Just trust us. 4-1 right now.
Fly High
Gale
Tay, I
Force.
believe that should be corrected now.
Still only about an 800 gold lead, so despite the kill disadvantage, White Wolf are doing a solid job staying close. 2-1 and 2 on this Lucian is pretty nice, because we all know a Lucian that gets off and running can just 1v1 champions in a way that most AD carries cannot.
Indeed. And he, humorously, has completed Gale Force.
Menards is looking top lane, and WD Fan has managed to get Godzilla into a full engage, but he might be in trouble. Does have flash. Godzilla has ghost. So this could go a number of ways right now. Godzilla is retreating. Might have been able to just advance towards WD Fan to guarantee a 1-for-1. Now he's looking back that way. WD Fan still has flash available. Godzilla is just juking around. Red buff is applied, and Menards eventually gets the final slap down.
Credit where credit's due. It was a good hustle. It was the best he could do given the circumstances, but the Wukong, with the flash and the second activation of the ultimate, there was really no way he was getting out at that point. He figured he may as well try to turn around and slap the Jax in the face.
But excellent awareness here by Gale Force. They immediately go to the Drake, which Menards has pinged out. He knew that it was about to come up, as Maya-chan actually jumps in on Burning Heretic. Nice dash forward. Arcane Soda with a flash over the wall. Maya-chan is left alone. The snipe comes out. It doesn't even matter. Maya-chan picks up the kill by his lonesome. Now has to flash over the wall as well. Here's Paranoia jumping in onto Chaosix. The fear range is just enough. The tether long enough. Chaosix goes down. The Drake was also taken, and down goes Menards. Big play for Gale Force right there. They lose Burn the Heretic, but they get the Drake, and they get 2 kills.
Yeah, the spell shield we were talking about on Nocturne earlier, I watched that Orianna ult get absorbed into that, and my heart broke for Chaosix there. That was the only play he had. He made it, and there was just no way out for him. As for that fight earlier on, when the Lucian engaged basically solo, very, very disjointed fight overall. On both sides, to be honest. There was fighting on both sides of the pit. To be completely blunt, it was really hard to keep track of, and I'm wondering if with a little bit more coordination, if that couldn't have been close to a clean ace, except for, of course, the top laners who weren't present.
Yeah, I liked what Burn the Heretic did with the downward dash, actually, towards the bot lane. That, it tricked me. I was not expecting him to go that way, but Amaya-chan luckily had one more bandage toss charge and had the accuracy to find him, and Arcane Soda and Amaya-chan both were forced to flash in that engagement, so could potentially come back to bite them. We've actually got no flashes in the bot lane right now. Menards jumps over quick on to Burn the Heretic. Directed camera takes me up to the top lane, so I'm sorry we're going to miss the rest of that bot fight. Looks like everybody's just fine. Green missing with the Everfrost onto Chaosix. And Sladen in the mid lane. Paranoia is not quite available. Now it just is. WD Fan is going to lose his turret and actually might now lose his life.
Man, that's
There's
a lot
no
of damage.
available for Godzilla, but Flash is not going to be enough. As long as the undertow keeps landing, WD Fan is going to drop. One more axe comes down on his head. Godzilla with a solo kill. Green also gets a kill in the mid lane. So Gale Force starting to blow over White Wolf in this mid lane right now. Burn the Heretic once more. There's the Gale Force. The culling doesn't live up to its name. Arcane Soda able to get away from it.
Action in every single lane. Gale Force has decided that the kill switch it's time to activate it, and they have been going in to great effect. This Olaf in the top lane, starting to wonder if that isn't something you start to ban, because that is becoming a large problem in multiple games.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, I know it's still somewhat of a flex pick, but I feel like most people probably would have expected. Actually, Amaya-chan goes in here onto Alpha, but I don't think there's going to be much coming from that. Menards is looking for Godzilla, knows he doesn't have the Ragnarok yet. Ghost is about to be available. Menards seems very confident in this Godzilla. He doesn't have the mana, so I don't think he really has the lifesteal, and he does go down. That's really, really good read from Menards there to know that he had the value there to take down that pretty strong Olaf.
Yeah, I think that's a different story if that Olaf has full mana, but like you said, he was tapped out from the earlier fights and skirmishes, and as a result, he was actually able to be run down, although it took a heck of a long time, so the more items he builds, the more problematic that's actually going to be. Also worth noting, the Wukong is the most fed person on their team at the moment, so, you put that Olaf charging down, say, the Orianna, it's gonna be a bad time.
And speaking of, you do have 3 Ninja Tabbies picked up already on the side of White Wolf, so it's, it's a lot on Green right now. He's the only magic damage on this team. Obviously, we know Green is capable of doing big things in these fights. But right now, everybody on White Wolf is saying, hey, you got an Olaf, a Nocturne, and a Lucian. We're going to dare you to beat us with magic damage.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note, too, Vex, while she does a lot of damage and it's very bursty, once you've used her kit, you've used her kit for the most part, with the exception of the ult reset. So she doesn't have good sustained damage, unless,
Sure.
of course, you're getting ult resets. So, like you said, if they're going to be itemizing a lot of armor, I worry that the Vex won't be able to do enough magic damage on her own. Unless they manage to get everyone else low enough where her ult can go off a billion times.
Godzilla able to take away that red buff. Menards is in, but I don't think he realized there were two there. Can he get away? The clone is popped. Second Cyclone. Will it be enough? Dashes in, gets the heal from the Divine Thunder, but it's not going to be enough. Can they turn on this? Oh, WD Fan might have been able to get a flank, but backed off of it. And
Yeah.
Gale Force will get the kill and get the red buff and get away.
That felt like a very slow response from White Wolf. I feel like perhaps he was calling that he was, cleared out, but they were all the way past the second tower. They were in the mid. I feel like they could have been there quicker had they rotated a little sooner.
So, fourth Drake is about to come up. Gale Force looking for a potential soul point. We do have a Hex Soul coming out this game, so newfangled things this season. Amaya-chan and Chaosix are lurking as Menards is back live. That's a ton of damage out of that Orianna. Just the command, protect, or attack and distance. Oh, flash from Amaya-chan. Good response from Alpha, otherwise that could have been trouble. I like the aggression though from Amaya-chan there. Looking for the shot.
Yeah, there's
Godzilla
a teleport.
teleports in. There is no teleport to answer from WD Fan. So this could just be a Drake going down. Might just have to, yeah, no steal attempt for Arcane Soda. Actually, here comes the ult. Here comes Green. Finds one. Slating in on the backside. This is the combo you were talking about. Double kill coming out over for Green. 3 go down. Make it 4. And WD Fan, without that teleport, not able to answer. And Gale Force blows him over.
Okay, so I was wrong. The Vex is definitely going to have enough damage. And also, that is, like you said, that is a terrifying combination. At that point, the only call was run. Run as fast as you can and hope that your friends get killed instead of you. There's just really no way to stop that. They don't have good disengage tools on White Wolf's team comp.
Yeah, that's one thing when I was looking at the comps that, I'm going to sound like a Captain Hindsight here, but it's all like one way. It's all jump in, it's all engage, but if you fall behind, if you're the ones trying to play front to back, you don't have as many tools.
Technically, I suppose you could try to, Chaosix ult to disengage a fight, but then again, like you said, you have Ragnarok coming at you who doesn't care about crowd control. We have Sladen coming at you on the Nocturne that has a spell shield. Vex is going to be teleporting through the air. Like, there's no way to stop that level of engage.
And all of a sudden, Green is at 5-0. So this Vex that we were talking about being the only magic damage on this team is ready to blow people up. Sladen 3-0-5 has played a brilliant game by my assessment. Every gank, every paranoia has seemed to amount to something positive. W-Fan is looking for Burn the Heretic in the mid lane. Does find him with the counter-strike, but Burn the Heretic, nice discipline there, holding the dash. The relentless pursuit is actually a relentless retreat, but that's fine.
The relentless part, that is absolutely true, regardless.
And yeah, you just look at these score lines on the side of White Wolf. Menard sitting at 3-3. He is the only person who has a positive KDA right now. Menard's looking to jump in, gets a little bit of damage down onto Burn the Heretic, but again, we talk about that Nami sustain, and just in general, when you're 5,000 gold down, a little bit of chip damage isn't going to really be consequential.
Had to take a quick pause and give a shout out to Prime Gaming Sucks in the chat. Sounds like this is your first time here. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
And WD Fan dies.
And yeah, WD Fan dies. Our gift to you, a new viewer, Bloodshed.
Shadow Surge there, used from green, no reset required. Amaya-chan is way behind enemy lines right now. Getting a little antsy there, I think. I understand it, you know, when it's one-way traffic like that, you're just looking to make a play, but unfortunately all of Gale Force were ready to fold in on top of that Amumu there. And this is a support Amumu, not a jungle Amumu, not that tanky. Don't have that much gold. They catch the fear on Arcane Soda. That damage was massive. No ult required to melt that Caitlyn. The Sheriff is down.
Yeah, that Vex damage is insane. I don't really know what you like at this point. Green has shown a mastery of this champion. He's shown a mastery of Zoe. We can safely assume that there is a healthy fear of the Kiana that keeps getting banned. What do you even do? How do you stop him?
I mean, it's almost like, you know, I hate to be that guy, but actually, as Godzilla is being that guy, just running over the side of White Wolf right now with that Ragnarok. We'll see. This might actually be the final push, so I might hold my my diatribe for a second. There's the Shadow Surge in onto Arcane Soda. He is gone so quick. Everyone else able to retreat for now. Slayton pops the spell shield. Nice job, Menards. Cyclone in the backline, just trying to disengage the fight, honestly. They get Burn the Heretic down. Nice kill from Chaosix, but it's still going to be a 4v3. There are super minions on the Nexus turrets, and the health bars are decent for the side of Gale Force, but it looks like they're willing to just back off. There's Drake up shortly here, so that could be the Hex Soul. But what I was going to say in response to you talking about Green and his champion pool, there's a frequent philosophy in, you know, a lot of sports like, say, basketball, where if you've got one player who is just unbelievably unstoppable, a LeBron James, Michael Jordan type player,
perhaps a Giannis.
Level, sure, I didn't want to be too much of a homer, but at a certain level, you might not really be able to stop them, and so your game plan becomes, let's just make it only them. Let's shut everybody else down and dare them to beat us alone. And, you know, we've seen, obviously, actually, here comes the Shadow Surge again. Here comes a Paranoia again. Everybody's diving in the back line. Ragnarok's back available for Godzilla. Chaosix is gone. Amaya-chan is gone. The Nexus may shortly here be gone. They don't even need the soul, it looks like. Arcane Soda able to just get away from that undertow, but Godzilla has another one available here in a moment. Menard dashes in, just getting a little bit down. Arcane Soda, though, is in a lot of trouble. Eventually caught by Green. Down goes the 80 carry. Culling comes out. Bullets are flying. And White Wolf, unfortunately for them, keeps dying. Burn the Heretic, trying to outplay Menards here. Menards, no cooldowns left on the Wukong. Down he goes. Nexus, 50% health, 20% health. Down you go. And a great win there from Gale Force.
Man, that was a very, very close game until it wasn't.
Yeah, it was the kind of game where it felt like 2 or 3 plays in the mid game just catapulted it one direction.
Taking a look at the scoreboard here.
Do we have stats this week? Does it work?
Nope.
I guess it only matters if it works on your screen, not mine, but...
It does not work. But I can see Godzilla's talent tree. Thanks, Riot. Who would you like to pull for an interview?
You know what? Let's get Slayden in here.
All right.
All right, hopping over. Hey, what's up, Slayden? Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
So, yeah, first match of the night. You guys move up to 2-1. Looked like there was not much action across the map except in the bot lane early on. That bot lane was just popping off in both directions. Looked like everybody was focusing their attention that way. Was that by design for you guys, or were you kind of just reacting to what White Wolf was making available to you?
I think we just took what we were given, and we just decided to focus bot lane.
Yep.
with that.
And just a little follow up for you playing that Nocturne. I've always personally found that when you're playing Nocturne, that Paranoia is such a long cooldown early
Hmm.
on. You really just have to make them all count. How much is that, present in your brain as you're playing a champion like that, where, there's that pressure to be like, I have to get something off of every cooldown?
Yeah, I just I don't want to waste it, and then because then you just don't have it for like a next fight or for the next dragon or something like that, and just for like a dragon fight, just so you need to use it when it counts.
Yeah. Well, looks like you guys did it effectively in that game. You got anything, Greg?
Not a whole lot. The one question I would have for you, it's a bit more detail on the Nocturne and the Vex combination. Was this something? Obviously, don't give away all your trade secrets, but is this something that you guys had prepped coming into this week, or is this something that you're just kind of pulling out of a hat?
We pulled it out of a hat.
Oh, that somehow makes it
At
scary.
least at least the Nocturne pick for me. I I don't play much Nocturne, so
Hmm. Was it
Yeah.
something though, like once you pick those champions, you were like, oh wait, these could actually work really
yeah,
well together though?
yeah, they definitely have a good synergy.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Congrats on the win. We'll
Thank you.
hop back over to live broadcast here. All right, well, folks, we just saw a very impressive win there from Gale Force. Put on some different champions, as you just heard from Sladen. Nocturne, not something he was expecting to play, but obviously it worked out pretty well for them. White Wolf, unfortunately, dropped to 0-3 so far in the Prowlers Overlord round robin. We do have two more matches for you this evening. Coming up next will be Blitzkrieg against Northern Storm. Blitzkrieg, the only 2-0 team so far this split, taking out Northern Storm, sitting at 1-1. So we'll see if Blitzkrieg can stay undefeated at this point against some stiff competition. We're going to take a short break here, but we will be right back. Stay with us.